Good morning, everyone. I have a short video for you today to go over the comma rules number 2 slides. These are just a few comma rules that we're going to discuss today. This is going to be a very short video, and then tomorrow you will actually do your comma rules number 2 assignment, where you can look at this PowerPoint, and after listening to today's video over this PowerPoint, you should be able to answer all of the questions on tomorrow's assignment and get them all correct. So let's get started. Okay. The first comma rule we're going to go over today is about tag questions. And a tag question is a short question that gets tagged onto the end of a sentence. Tag questions always need commas before them. So, for example, you are going to pick up your brother today, right? That's actually, tag questions happen a lot more often than what you would probably think just by reading the definition of what a tag question is. This sentence makes perfect sense. You probably use tag questions in your everyday speech, but if you were going to write this question out, you would need to make sure that there is a comma before the tag question at the end of the sentence. Please stop hitting your brother, okay? Okay, at the end of the sentence needs a comma before it. And then my last example of a tag question is, tag questions are easy to punctuate, aren't they? So, again, that tag question about tag questions is a tag question, and you need a comma before a tag question always. It's kind of fun to say, tag question. Okay, anyway, I'm bored. You guys need to come back to school. All right, dates. If you're writing a date, you need a comma between the different units of time. The only place you don't put a comma is between the month and then the day of the month. So there's a lot of commas in dates. So if I were to write, on Saturday, December 3rd, 2020, I took my first ACT test. Well, that's a lot of commas, right? So you have to put them between different units of time. So Saturday and December, there's a comma in between both. December and 3, you don't put a comma between those two things. That's the only thing you don't put a comma between, is the month and then the day of the month. That stays together. But then the year after the day, comma, okay? And then a comma after it if it doesn't end the sentence and there's more to the sentence, right? Like if you said, I took my ACT test on Saturday, comma, December 3rd, comma, 2020, period at the end, obviously, because you're not connecting it to any other part of the sentence, right? On November 22nd, comma, 1985, comma, my parents were married. Addresses. This is another time where you need many, many commas. There are so many commas in when writing addresses in sentence form. Normally you probably wouldn't write addresses in sentence form. I can think of, in a resume, maybe you would put your address in sentence form, but otherwise, usually you're just using, when you write an address, you're using it to just address an envelope, whereas then you wouldn't need all of these commas because you separate them with line breaks, right? You would write if you were going to address an envelope, I'm looking for an envelope, you would do it just like this. I have an envelope right here. See, you just put the person's name, and then you put the, here it says EHS South, so you might just have to put the building that it's going to, and then you'd put the address, and then you would put Edwardsville, comma, Illinois, and then the zip code. And there would be no comma between the state and the zip code. So, there you have it. That's an example of an addressed envelope. But here, if you were going to write it in sentence form, I live at 555 Main Street, comma, Paramus, which is the city, comma, New Jersey, which is the state, no comma between the state and the zip code. Okay, so like down here, here's one where I added an apartment. So I live at 1520 Washington Avenue, comma, apartment 900, comma, St. Louis, comma, Missouri, and then no comma between the state and the zip code. Make sure that you look at this as you take that assignment for CommaRules number 2. And then the last common rule we have today is introductory phrases. So when a sentence has an introduction to the main idea, you use a comma to put a pause between the introduction and the rest of the sentence. An introduction can sometimes just be one word, and sometimes it can be a whole phrase. So for example, oftentimes it's one word too, like finally, I can stop zooming and come back to school. Finally, comma, which hopefully is very soon. Since she started learning CommaRules, comma, Jane has become a more confident writer. Since she started using CommaRules as an introduction to the main part of the sentence, which is about Jane becoming a confident writer. Once upon a time, comma, there was a little boy who loved school. Once upon a time, introduction to the sentence. Ever since I learned to dribble, comma, I've loved playing basketball. Again, ever since I learned to dribble is an introduction to the main part of the sentence, which is I've loved playing basketball, right? So these are some very simple comma rules that you should take into consideration when you're writing. And also you should use this PowerPoint again to help you with CommaRules number 2 assignment, which won't be posted until tomorrow. So I hope that everybody has a great day, and if you need help with anything, just make sure that you pop into my Zoom anytime between 8 and 11:45. Okay, have a great day.